Wow, so much for Drain the Swamp, huh? How many of you have heard the truth about this very strange gift of a luxury airliner to Donald Trump by the Qatari government has now come out? Florida Monkey, it is not a gift to Donald Trump. It's a gift to DOD. Think about that for a minute, folks. They're basically using DOD as a clearinghouse to launder the value of the gift. Because the aircraft, as it sits right now, cannot be used as Air Force One. And the person who approved the deal is a woman named Pam Bondi. And by the time DOD goes over this thing with a fine-tooth comb and makes sure there's no tracking devices and makes sure there's no listening devices and then refits it with all of the bells and whistles and everything that it needs to be an Air Force One, Donald Trump will be ready to receive it into his presidential library as he leaves office. The plane is never going to see 1 minute in the air as Air Force One during Donald Trump's administration in the next 3 years and some odd months. There's too much work to be done. But it gets better. You see, Air Force One is its own beast. It's got specific technologies built all through it to survive an EMP. It's got flares, anti-missile lasers. It's got all sorts of stuff on it that nobody else in the world has. And for Donald Trump to board this, for DOD to allow Donald Trump to board this as president and put it in the air, folks, that's years away. It's just going to be a giant pet project for DOD that will get done just in time to deliver to Donald Trump's civilian. Because that's the plan. Now, real quick, before I forget, thankfulness. Thank you guys so much for joining us over Patreon. Very, very much appreciate it. We got a lot of brand new content over there. Just put up a brand new video for the max level, the brigade commanders only. A few days before that, it was the unit and brigade commanders. And then, of course, before that, Need to Know Roundtable. And, excuse my voice, I'm still fighting this cold. I've almost got it beat. The McKee Foot Soldiers, and that's going to be our next video. So, love to have you over there. Fully refundable first 90 days, no questions asked. We take the gloves off. We don't censor like we have to here. And if it's not for you, fully refundable. First 90 days. Love to have you over there. Give it a shot. You got nothing to lose. See, there's all sorts of stuff built into Air Force One that no other jet has. And even if they have a version of it, we have to strip out their version and put in ours. That's going to take years and years to do. Here's a great article. I'll give it to you in the first pinned comment. Graphic news. Trump's call to cancel new Air Force Ones. You see, there are new Air Force Ones on the way. They've been delayed a little bit. But Trump wants them canceled. Why? You see, it boils down to this. This is a gift to Trump. An indirect gift to Trump, but it's a gift to him. Because it's never going to see 1 minute in the air in the next 3 years as Air Force One, serving the people of America. Remember when I said this was going to be the Trump OnlyFans presidency? That it was going to be all about the money? Well, you folks confirmed it. Those of you who were already typing, those of you who were already disagreeing with me, I did a poll of my own audience over at the Communities tab. And I asked, is personal financial sovereignty the ultimate form of morality? Meaning for you to govern your life the way that you want to govern it, you have to be able to say that, look, I have the financial wherewithal to do it. Because if I'm slaved to anyone else for any amount of resource, any one person, I have to then mollycoddle that person. And I'm in a certain form of slavery. Are you not? You see, this is what makes the whole OnlyFans concept and only Trump concept very intriguing. Recently, right around last Christmas, President Trump's wife, Melania Trump, released her memoirs. And people were taking her to task for having posed nude and posed in some very salacious ways. And she didn't say, oh, toxic masculinity, evil men, I had no choice, it was horrible. She didn't say that. She owned it. Mad respect for her, by the way, for doing so. She said, if I had it to go back and do, I would do it again. I enjoyed it. I thought it was artistic. But it was what she was doing at the time to maintain her own personal financial sovereignty. She wasn't doing it for free. It was for money. And she married Donald Trump. Personal financial sovereignty. Once she got that paper, married to the man, she knew she was set for life. Now, you ready for this? Pam Bondi, the Attorney General of the United States, who approved this $400 million Qatari jet gift to Donald Trump, was a paid lobbyist for the Qatari government, earning $115,000 a month. That's right. Pam Bondi was on the payroll of the Qataris, the Attorney General of the United States. I think we know now why we are never going to see the Epstein files. But it gets even better. 1 second. Pam Bondi's Trump media windfall. Attorney General sold up to $5 million in stock shares on Trump's Liberation Day tariff shock announcement. See, she made money just by knowing the man and knowing what he was going to say. She sold off stock in Truth Social. And it gets even better. Donald Trump shuts down a foundation that once gave Pam Bondi $25,000. Remember when I said it was the OnlyFans presidency? You see, there's always something that ties it to money. You'd be amazed at how men like Donald Trump, as bad as they are, can get women like this to flock to their side, to his side. This was the whole point I was trying to make. I am so sorry about OnlyFans. It was about personal financial sovereignty. People are asking why aren't women just getting married to men? Any one man can disappoint you, can leave you hanging, right? Ladies, right? Any one man can do that. Women used to care what people thought about them until one day they tried to pay their bills with other people's opinions. But when you have 500, 1,000, 2,000 men, each sending you $5 or $10, no one man leaving or deciding they're not going to, send their $5 or $10 that month, that's not going to change anything for you. Is it? Doing that for a living. So you can go get a job. You can go get a real job. And at any one point in time, one boss, one supervisor can fire you and you can be out of a job. But doing what these girls do is incredibly secure because it's about the money. And I will reiterate, you told me You, my audience, told me that the ultimate form of morality is personal financial sovereignty. Whatever you can do to keep the money flowing. And it's nothing new. 1700s London, 18th century. 20% of women were capitalists. 20% of women knew, hey, you know what? I'm not going to rely on just this one guy. I'm not going to just try to take care of this one guy and then have him take care of me. It'll make a lot more sense for me to occasionally take care of, say, 24 guys. Because if anyone gets arrested or dies or maybe is a jerk and I don't want to see him anymore, it doesn't affect their income. It doesn't affect their personal financial sovereignty. And not as dangerous as Uber and Lyft. Now, you really ready to have your mind blown? This is what the whole Big Bang Theory was about. Penny. Remember Penny, the character in Big Bang Theory? She lived across the hall from 4 guys who were studying things that were going to make them very wealthy men. Mid-6-figure range salaries. The first one, Leonard. He ended up buying her a car. When she was broken up with him, she's like, well, let's go to the next guy who's going to make a whole bunch of money. Raj, the Indian guy. And she didn't really like Howard at all, but she still made sure that she took care of him with her friends. How many of you remember this scene? And then there's the one guy who's clearly a homosexual that has no interest, but she still gets him to give her thousands of dollars. How many of you remember that episode? And he bought her a car. After he knew that she slept with one of his friends. Because he felt sorry for her. Now we should probably save that for Patreon. We'll talk about that at Patreon. It's not something I can probably bust out here without making a whole bunch of people mad. Were the Qataris feeling sorry for the U.S. Department of Defense? Do you think the Qataris have no strings? What do you think the point was? How does this benefit the Qataris? You see, taking random gifts from bad guys, long term, not a good thing, is it? Taking random gifts from bad guys is not a good thing. That was the whole point that all of my detractors tried to make to me about OnlyFans. The thing about OnlyFans is it's all anonymous. You have no idea where the money's coming from. Could be coming from a married guy who's, 3 months behind on his bills. It'd be coming from a guy who's behind on his child support. Could be coming from some guy overseas, some Muslim terrorist. These girls don't care. They don't know who's sending them the money. They don't know. That's why this is so dangerous. See, we know who the Qataris are. We know what they're capable of. This jet is never going to serve the American people one day. It is never going to serve the department. It's never going to be serviceable to put the president on as Air Force One one single day during Trump's administration. It has to be swept. It has to be gutted. And it has to have refit put into it. And we're already trying to build 2 other brand new ones on top of it. Boeing is. Those will be done before this is ready. But by the time this is ready, it's going to be Donald Trump's personal aircraft. So, just saying. Think about it logically. We talk about that a lot over at the Patreon channel. Clearing your mind of emotion. Clearing your mind of emotion. And thinking about things without any kind of a bias. We talk about the 24 cognitive biases, 24 logical fallacies that affect everyone. And I'd love to have as many people as I can get over there. Because the military teaches this. These tactics and techniques. God bless all of you for being here. Thank you so much. Pray for each other. Pray for me. I'll pray for you. Lift each other up. Like, share, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.